What's up everybody, Watt007 here, and welcome back to a brand new Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links X crossover episode with Yu-Gi-Oh! Speed Duels. And the reason why we're doing this crossover episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links and Yu-Gi-Oh! Speed Duels is because there was a recent sneak peek event for the Trials of Kingdom set for Yu-Gi-Oh! Speed Duels. I'm not too sure what tournament or what card shop this happened in, but this image was rolling around all over Twitter about some brand new skill cards that got revealed. And the cool thing about these new skill cards that got revealed is that these are all skill cards for characters that we actually don't have access to in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. But most of you guys are going to recognize them because these are the NPCs that we fight in the Duel Monsters world. We have new skills for Emma, David, Andrew, and Christine, and it's just really cool that they're giving some love to these NPCs, and maybe they will make them playable characters in the future, or maybe we'll get these broken skills in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links sometime in the future. But the fact that they're giving some love to these NPCs as making them cards in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Speed Duel format was just an awesome thing to happen, and I wanted to make a video talking about these skills for Yu-Gi-Oh! Speed Duels and talk about if these skills could possibly come into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. But let me tell you what though, these skills are crazy broken, and I don't know if we'll get them in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links anytime soon. But if you guys are hyped for today's episode of, I guess, leaks in quotation marks, be sure to smash the like button on the video down below. Let's go start discussing about these brand new NPC skills that are coming to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Speed Duel format, and let's get into it. So when it comes to talking about these brand new Yu-Gi-Oh! Speed Duel skills, I'm going to be talking about them as if they were getting added into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. The last time that I played the Yu-Gi-Oh! Speed Duel format was when the starter decks got released for both Yugi, Seto, Joey, Mai, Ziju, and I think one other person, I forgot the last person was, but those first two starter decks that got released for the format, that was the last time that I played the Speed Duel format. I haven't touched it since. Maybe talking about these new skills for the Speed Duel format is going to inspire me to take a look at the Speed Duel stuff and play them again, but I'm going to be talking about these skills as if they're getting added into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, so just keep that in mind for the entirety of this video. Without further ado though, let's go talk about the first skill that we're going to be talking about in today's video. So the first skill we're going to talk about is for Emma, and she has a skill called Ritual Ceremony. You can activate the skill during your main phase. Once per duel, you can reveal one ritual monster from your hand and then add one ritual spell from your deck to your hand that can ritual summon that monster. So first things first, this skill is just crazy. If this got added into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, it would boost the consistency of literally every single ritual deck in the game. For example, Cyber Angels could get a huge boost out of Ritual Ceremony because, as you guys know, Cyber Angel Dakini and Machine Angel Ritual are both cards in the semi-limit list. Well, now you can easily search out for your Machine Angel Ritual because you can use Ritual Ceremony to showcase any of your Cyber Angel Ritual monsters from your hand. You can reveal any of those and then search for your one copy of Cyber Angel Ritual that you're running in your deck. That's crazy right there. On top of that, it would just literally help out every single ritual deck in the game. It would help out Vendras, it would help out Magician of Chaos, it would help out Cerulean Phoenix, like every single ritual deck in the game. This skill would help out because you can literally search for the spell card as long as you have the monster in your hand. So possibly this skill right here could really help you out onto not needing to run so many search cards in your ritual deck, and then you can just run other cards that could either boost the attack of your monsters or defend you with like some, instead of rocking like some of the ritual search cards, you can rock some spell and trap cards instead. So Ritual Ceremony would just be absolutely crazy in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. It would just boost the consistency of every ritual deck and allow them to rock some more cards to boost themselves instead of wasting fodder in your deck for searchability purposes, which is really cool in my opinion. So this is a really cool skill, and it's just kind of crazy that we're getting in the game. Another thing too is that since this skill sounds so generic, you can probably use this to search for the other generic ritual spell cards in the game, like Advanced Ritual Art, which is also another cool thing to think about. And I'm very curious to see how the Speed Duel format is going to handle something like this. Like I said, I'm going to need to do some research on the Speed Duel format, maybe do a couple games and test the format out yet again, because from what I last remember, the only ritual deck that I know about is Relinquished, and this would help out Relinquished decks, that's for sure. But if we got Ritual Ceremony in Yu-Gi-Oh! Speed Duels, maybe they're going to add some other ritual decks that could use a good boost out of this. But yeah, Relinquished would rock or love to use the skill because then you can easily summon into your Relinquish and kind of go from there. So Ritual Ceremony is a very cool skill. The second skill we're going to talk about is this skill from your boy David, and it is called Digging for Gold. And let me tell you, this is also another broken skill. You can activate this skill during your main phase. Once per duel, you can banish 3 cards from your graveyard and then draw 1 card. And first things first, this skill would just be ridiculous in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. The first thing that popped in my head that you can use this skill in is that Grasslick Screener type of decks. You would pitch a bunch of your cards to the graveyard with that Grasslick Screener, and then once you have like 10 cards in your graveyard, you can banish 3 of them and then draw 1 card. That's pretty crazy right there, and depending on how you build your deck, you can utilize those cards that you just banish to the graveyard to go for combos, which is just really cool. Another thing too is that just in general in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, there are so many cards in the game that just pitches cards to the graveyard, so if your deck doesn't care about using those cards that you pitch to the graveyard for combo extenders, you can use Digging for Gold to just banish 3 of them and then go for another card to draw into, so that can extend your combos or give you some defense, like back row cards to hopefully help you out. So this skill would be just crazy to get at Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. I feel like that the reason why this is getting added into the Speed Duel format though is because, like I said, I only played the starter decks when they first came out for the Speed Duel format, and at least from what I played, the game was kind of slow. Even though it is called Yu-Gi-Oh! Speed Duels, it would last a good amount of turns, and I feel like Digging for Gold is okay in a format like that because at least from what I remember, there wasn't really that much crazy stuff that you can do to pitch a bunch of cards in the graveyard, and the Digging for Gold is kind of like a good skill that you can use to like get a late game push in the Speed Duel format. While on Duel Links, on the other hand, if this was added into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, it would just help out combo decks and stuff like that because you can just draw a card and keep going for your combo. So really cool skill right here. I like it a lot. I would like it to be added into Duel Links, but it's probably too good of a generic skill to get added to the game. But Speed Duels can probably handle it, at least from what I remember. It was a slower paced game. Next skill we're going to take a look at is called Low Blow. This is a skill from Andrew. To activate the skill during your main phase, once per duel, you can make 1 monster on the field lose 500 attack and defense until the end of the turn. So Low Blow is just a really good skill for both Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links and Yu-Gi-Oh! Speed Duels. I can tell though that they're kind of being cautious with Low Blow and making it a once per duel instead of once per turn thing, because as you guys know, with skills like Beatdown, for example, Beatdown back in the day in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links was able to be used every single turn, but as of late, Beatdown got hit as a once per duel thing, and it's interesting to see that Low Blow is also a once per duel sort of skill. Nonetheless though, this is such a generic skill that it can be rocked in so many decks, and it can easily work for both Speed Duels and Duel Links. Duel Links wise, this would be a nice option, especially for decks that couldn't even utilize Beatdown to its full potential. You can use a skill like Low Blow to make a monster weaker and be able to potentially attack into one of your opponent's strong monsters, because a 500 attack and defense can really make or break a game depending on what deck you're using or what your opponent's using, but still a really good thing right there. And also you can probably use this skill to possibly snag some wins, because you're going to make your opponent monster even weaker than what it was, and you can hopefully finish off the rest of your opponent's life points. Same thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! Speed Duels. This would just help you out so much in case if your opponent had like a blue eyes white dragon on the field and you needed just that little extra 500 attack and defense to just get away from that monster to really get those, secure the win right there. And the fact that it does work for both 500 attack and defense could also help you out by, in some scenario, you switch your opponent's monster to defense position, you can activate Low Blow to even weaken that defense position monster even weaker, and then go for the attack right there. Low Blow overall is just a really cool skill, and honestly, out of all the 4 skills I'm talking about today's video, I could honestly see Low Blow getting added into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links because it is a good skill, but it's not as broken as some of the other skills that we talked about in today's video. So the last skill we're going to talk about today's video is a skill for Christine, and this is called Fusion Party. Activate this skill during your main phase. Once per duel, you can fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. What's really cool about this Fusion Party skill is that it's very similar to the Ritual skill that we talked about earlier in today's video, where you can basically use Fusion Party as a substitute for polymerization. So now you don't need to waste deck space in your deck to run polymerization, where you can just use this skill that you can activate whenever you want, as long as you have the fusion material monsters on your field or your hand to go for a fusion summon. Now, I wonder if a skill like this could possibly get added to Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, because as most of you guys know, most of the meta fusion decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links don't even use polymerization anymore. There's a lot of just very top tier fusion decks in the game that use fusion cards that either pitch stuff from the deck to the graveyard or use both player sides of the field for fusion material cards to go for fusion summons. So Fusion Party could possibly get added into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, but like I said, or not like I said, but this skill is just such a generic skill like the Ritual skill that we talked about, where I feel like that they might not add this into the game, because you can literally just use this whenever you want, as long as you have monsters on your field and your hand to go for a fusion summon right here. So it would just be a free polymerization that you can literally use whatever you want. Luckily, it is a once per duel, so you don't have to worry about that too much, but still, I feel like Fusion Party could probably shake up the game like crazy just because of the fact that it's so generic. But at the same time, like I said, there's a lot of fusion cards in Duel Links at the moment where you don't really need polymerization anymore. Most of the top tier fusion decks kind of rock their own niche fusion cards to go for the fusion summons, which is pretty interesting. Still, it's super cool to see a skill like this get added into the Speed Duel format. I know I messed around with Joey's fusion deck when I was playing against my baby brother playing the Speed Duel format, so the fact that you can now use a card like Fusion Party to not even worry about going for the polymerization shenanigans is pretty nice. So you can rock your cards that you want to rock and then not waste space with polymerization, just go for a fusion summon, which is really cool in my opinion. So yeah, cool skill. Well, that's going to be it for talking about all these brand new skills for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Speed Duel format. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and hopefully you guys learned something new, and maybe some of these skills can get added into the game. Maybe you guys in the comment section down below can tell me which skills you think could get added into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, and I'm looking forward to seeing what these skills can do in the Speed Duel format. Maybe I gotta go take a look at the Speed Duel format yet again and see what's popping over there, because they seem to be adding a lot of cool stuff into the game, that's for sure. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed today's video and you want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh! Content, be sure to subscribe to this channel. I've been releasing a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Content as of late, so if you haven't checked those out, be sure to go check those out. And also, if you watched this video and you haven't already, be sure to go smash the like button on the video down below to show your support and all that good stuff right there. But yeah, I think it's gonna be it for me. Thank you so much for watching today's Yu-Gi-Oh! video, and I'll go see you guys in the next one. Peace out.